Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide, Mysore. So today we are understanding the Mahadasha of Ketu, that is the major period of Ketu in the Vimshottari Dasha system. So I'll be discussing both positives and negatives of Ketu in the same video. So we should understand that Ketu, because there is there's a lot of myth with regard to how Ketu enters into a person's life in its Mahadasha. And this myth is that people are unnecessarily afraid of Ketu. The myth is that Ketu comes, it will detach you from these things. You will have to forego so many things in life. You'll have to part. So these are myths, because I have seen many horoscopes in which Ketu has given children, Ketu has given marriage. It has not taken away. So people should understand that the placement of Ketu is very important to note. So the myth what I was talking about is usually when Ketu falls in the seventh house and people are afraid that the Ketu Mahadasha is coming, what will happen to my marriage, what will happen to my relationship, so what will happen to my business, whether I will be able to continue it in the Ketu Mahadasha or is there going to be a break. If Ketu is in the fifth house, people think that, oh, okay, I'm entering into the Ketu Dasha, there might be some problems like, I might have to discontinue my studies, I'll have to wait, take a break. Ketu in the fourth house, people usually feel, students feel that, they keep seeing in the internet and they feel that, the education is suddenly going to get a U-turn. They will have to stop everything and go and do something else. So, do not get into the myth and unnecessarily get confused. So, I'll give you my own example. My example is that when I entered into the Ketu Mahadasha, I was doing okay when I was finishing my Mercury Mahadasha. Entered into the Ketu Mahadasha, I did very well in my studies. A guy who is very mediocre, I was not very much into studies at all. I was more into astrology. I was studying very less. But I did both very well in the Ketu Mahadasha. The 7 years, it was a golden period for me for studying. So Ketu has to be placed well. I know people will be asking, where is your Ketu? That I'll tell you later on. I'll get my chart on the board later on. So, but anyway, let us come to the positives. People get extreme focus. See, Ketu is your aura. As per the chakras, which I have explained, Ketu doesn't have any physical chakra like the Sahasrara chakra, Agni chakra, then you have the Kanta, that is the throat, then you have the solar plexus. So these are all for other planets like Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury. But Ketu and Rahu do not have a particular chakra. Ketu is the aura. That is what is around us. That is our conscious presence which is extending to a certain extent. You do more meditation, your aura will increase. You are more good at your prana and your healing, your aura will increase more. So you will be able to experience more and more. So when the aura of a person is pure and clean, there is extreme focus, lot of commitment and perseverance, and these people are called perfectionists because they do everything correctly. It's not that they are perfect. They keep doing each and every job correctly and as per its requirement. And sometimes we normal people, when we see them, we feel that this fellow is obsessed. Why does he exactly arrange all those spoons like this? Why does he keep all those pens like that? So we think that he is obsessed. He is not obsessed. He does it the same way and every time. So These are extreme positive requirements. Like, for example, I'll tell you what is precision. As per Ketu, Ketu is precision. Like, if somebody is sending a satellite from here to the ISS, International Space Station, and it has to go and dock, exactly sit in the space station, do you know how far it is and how difficult it is, and exactly precise it has to go and dock into it? This work is done by perfectionists. You are not perfect there. Let us say, okay, sir, let it be 10 centimeters away. That's it. It's going to cut into pieces because they go in a particular speed and both are moving and they have to dock. So, Ketu, I'm just giving you an example. Ketu is a precision perfectionist. Like the person who does the bypass surgeries, the person who does the brain surgeries, the person who does so many other surgeries, even prosthetic surgeries, prosthetics, the whole arm of somebody else is attached with all the other requirements of the nerves, the bones, the veins, the arteries, everything have to be connected and the arm should work. You need to have a peculiarly perfect brain or a person who has extreme focus and extreme pinpointedness. So that is Ketu. And that as good as going deep into research. They are very straightforward and they keep doing things rather than talking things. They talk less, work more, and that is one of the best things Ketu does when you get into the Ketu Dasha. See, these are the Karakattvas of Ketu which will get enhanced, triggered, and will be more prominent on in that particular span of 7 years of Ketu. So Ketu Mahadasha is for 7 years in the Vimshottari. Okay, and he will start getting the confidence. The person who lacks confidence, in case Mercury is bad placed and the Mercury Dasha has just happened, the person will start gaining confidence in the Ketu Dasha and will dare to talk about controversial issues. No, that particular day the society is facing, he would unnecessarily sometimes get involved, or sometimes, or every time, he is not able to control himself. So he would go there and he would put up his opinion. So not always opinions are taken positively. Sometimes opinions are taken negatively. People might shun him down, but still he will get an opportunity and he will become bold enough to talk. So this is when it is in both the second and the third house. Higher spiritual elevation happens when Ketu is in the fifth house. I am not talking about the fourth house and not much about the second house because these are not great positions for Ketu. Ketu is good in the third house. A strong controversial Ketu it is called. If it is posited along with Saturn, it gets malefically hit. So Rahu and Ketu, you should understand that they are all happy. These both planets are happy when they are sitting alone. It's not that they should be sitting along with some other planet. So higher spiritual elevation and there are the interest in the person to get into offbeat subjects which are not normally taken up. You know, studies a lot. He has he is like a desert for water. He would want to go into a lot of analytical, cryptic knowledge which has to be deciphered. He can do it. He can be a very good language expert, particularly in the fifth house. A person can go into multiple languages in Ketu, in Dasha, and he can be an excellent, what we call as a journalist or an analyst or even a translation expert. So they get good opportunities to travel abroad, to meet other people. So because both Ketu and Rahu are called as Mlechas, Usually people who are having fifth house Ketu will study in an abroad university where, you know, none of them or many of them would not be of your race or your country. You'll be away. So there is a very beautiful placement of Ketu when you can get into the inclination into spiritual elevation. The ninth house, excellent placement for Ketu for spiritual elevation, but not a good placement when Ketu is in the ninth house and the Dasha Bhakti starts. It is not a good placement for professional stability, because the person can suddenly leave his job, get into some business and get into some difficulty. So usually, people with Ketu in the ninth house would be searching for a good mentor, you know, who would more touch their psychological inabilities and give them more strength to, go ahead with it. So they want people to mentor their emotional psyche. So that is where Ketu is when it's in the ninth house. So Ketu is also very good when it is sitting in the sixth house. And when the Mahadasha of Ketu runs, people can pass through exams, they can pass through peculiar competitive examinations, they can get through some tough interviews, and this is a good time for competitiveness. So usually when we will be seeing that, let us say, take an example, that Mercury is sitting with a retro Saturn or Mercury is sitting with a retro Jupiter. The person has tried a lot in the Mercury Mahadasha. Things have not happened. Why Jupiter and Saturn in particular? Because Mercury Jupiter, then Mercury Saturn, and then starts the Ketu Mahadasha. So that means the recent past 5 years before the Ketu Mahadasha starts is Mercury Jupiter and Mercury Saturn. So once he has gone through a lot of failures from the past 5 years and then comes into Ketu, Ketu is well placed. Let us say in the sixth house, strong placement for Ketu. And sixth and the 12th are very good placements for Ketu. The third, the sixth, and the 12th. The 11th is not that great. 3, 6, 12 is very good. 11th is okay because it's Upachaya Sthana. But still, I take 3, 6, 12 because 12th is the Karaka Sthana for Ketu. That is the house of the signification for Ketu for Moksha. The third house is for Parakrama and sixth house is for service. They love to get into top level jobs where they can do hard work. They can take that pressure. So, 11th house, obviously, Ketu will give financial gains, but once again, it's abrupt. Suddenly you get the gain. You will not even know that you were getting it, and suddenly you get gains. So, when people are having Ketu in the 12th house, they can do excellent trade across countries and continents. So, and 12th house is also great for Ketu for getting into spirituality. So people keep asking me, when will I spiritually grow? The Ketu Mahadasha, if Ketu is well placed like the 12th house or even in the ascendant, person will grow very spiritually high with regard to his elevation. So he will then start understanding who is and what is around him, and he will understand what he is in that particular situation. So it's a kind of self realization in through the Ketu way, you know. So let me go into the negatives of Ketu. First house Ketu negatively placed. Let us say it is placed very close to Jupiter, and let us say it is placed like Moon and Ketu are placed in the first house very close to the ascendant. People will go through a lot of phobias, unnecessary perfectionism, where it is not required, which is as good as an OCD. They are hygiene freaks. It's like, they keep washing hands repeatedly. They are always afraid that, whether this has happened or not, that has happened. Did I do this today? Did I take my tablet today? Did I have my lunch? So they are always, they keep forgetting things. So this happens mostly when Ketu is 5 degrees or 10 degrees behind the ascendant, not when it is ahead of the ascendant. When it is ahead of the ascendant, they will be doubtful of others. When it is behind the ascendant, they will be doubtful about themselves. So, perspective changes. So, fourth house, lot of breaks in education, and if malefically posited, and unnecessarily it will become a hurdle for getting into jobs. People might become very lethargic, they are disinterested to go for a job at all. So the second house, I just skipped it. In the second house, if Ketu is badly posited, there are situations which will force a person going to a hostel, staying there far away from parents, far away from family, getting up, going abroad, eating things which are, you did not even imagine that you will eat these things. So it's like your homeliness and the home food thing will be a rarity for you. So that is what is Ketu in the second house. So coming back to the sixth house, and Ketu is badly posited, let us say. So people can get into diseases of the Ketu. What are diseases of the Ketu? Ketu usually doesn't give you much of a disease, but yes, it gives you some problems of viral infections like what we call as herpes. Herpes is one infection which happens because of the viral infection of the, I think, the spine or the rib cage. It goes inside, sits there, and you get immense pain, and you can get those acne kind of boils over your skin. So animal bite, dog bites, animal bites, stings like wasp stings, hornet stings, bee stings, poisonous attacks, the snake. We all know that. So that is what is Rahu and Ketu. So we need to be very careful that we protect ourselves when we are going on a trek or a forest trail, or simply jogging somewhere without even having idea that there was a huge big beehive which has just opened up. You need to be cautious, you need to be aware. Animals are aware. Why are we not aware? We suddenly will lose our focus. We need to be aware of our surroundings when we are going somewhere. So, and then Ketu is also a karaka for getting hit, something falling, breaking, fracture, rupture, holes, punctures. So, in this particular Mahadasha of Ketu, if it is badly posited, and if it is in the 6th, 8th, and the 12th from the ascendant, the native has to be careful and cautious. Protect yourself with shoes, protect yourself with guards, protect yourself with gloves, and be careful, wear your helmets. So unnecessarily, people are having too much of confidence. Overconfidence is foolishness. You go to any hospital, go to the emergency, and then go to the ward and see people, with the hanging leg up. They have tied their leg up because he has gone through a fracture. And you just ask that fellow, you did that stunt yesterday and you fell. How was that stunt? It was beautiful. You go and interview him. He will tell you the pain what he is going through. So people, please be aware. Don't land up into places where you have to go through pain. So, in the Ketu Mahadasha, unnecessarily do not get into accidents or situations of accidents. See, if it happens, because it's an accident happens. It is not that we wish for it or it was destined. It is an accident. Destiny is a different thing, but did we focus and concentrate that we have to go and get that thing done? We are going to hit somebody and fall there and get into pain. Nobody wants that. So that means it is an accident. It has happened without anybody's knowing. It just happened. It was a very simultaneous thing which was gone out of control. So please be careful. Don't unnecessarily get into accidents. And Ketu also can give problems of health, like for example, people going through small surgeries like the appendix, removing the appendix, going through laser treatments to the for the eye, the ear, stones of the kidney, laser treatment to stones of the kidney, going through laparoscopic operations, keyhole surgeries, and even in certain cases, like people who have been going through gangrene, they need to go through some amputations, very minor amputations, but still, I have seen major too, and these are all because of the Ketu.
One more thing. Cosmetics,
Yeah, people suddenly will go into cosmetic treatments in this particular Ketu Mahadasha.
Picking and all that.
Going for tattoos, going for dumbbells, hair transplants, all these things where you do puncture and you do unnecessary inserts. These are all Rahu Ketus. So, getting injected, all getting injected also, the Ketu and the Rahu both act together. So, try to understand one thing: the more you tend to look artificial, you will lose your natural beauty. So that, anyway, we cannot help, because the Ketu Mahadasha comes and the Rahu Mahadasha comes, and it will change your perspective, and you will tell, as on date, I am doing this acting, I need to be looking like this, I have to do that. Yes, people are compelled to get into that, and there are many people who don't go into it at all. They don't go into it at all. The best example, I'll give you an example. One of the best actors in a Hindi movie in Bollywood, one of the best actors, Anupam Kher, I respect him a lot. He did not go for hair transplantation. He came very early in the movie, when he was very young, when he did Saransh. He has done an old man's role in Saransh, but he was very young. But after that, he was signing a lot of movies, all characters of middle age and old age. But he could have gone through a hair transplant, and he, look dashingly young. He was young. He is still young. So the point is here, there are many people, whatever happens, they will maintain their originality. That is a positive Ketu. That is a positive Ketu. A negative Ketu is that they would want to hide their originality. They would want to showcase that, yes, everything is normal. I have hidden this. I have masked this. So they keep doing that. So normally, inward growth of a nail, split of nails, lack of nutrients in the body. Lack of nutrients is what causes split of nails and inward growth and all those things. So it can happen. Spurs and corn in the leg, spur, that is a growing bone which grows as a spur in your ankle or in your heel, which is extremely painful. Every step is like hell. So these things can happen in the Ketu Mahadasha. So you need to understand where Ketu is posited. See the Drakana D3 chart, see the D1 chart, correlate both the charts. If it is sitting with Saturn, if it is sitting in the 9, 10, 11, 12, and if it is sitting along with Venus, you need to understand that there might be some problems which might occur, like varicose veins or something in the leg can happen. We need to be careful there. So let me not simply prolong this issue. Let me go ahead. Fifth house, Ketu in the fifth house, and if it is posited along with a benefic like Jupiter, can give problems with regard to progeny in that particular time period, and it will lift off once the time period is gone. Depends on how close Ketu is posited along with Jupiter in the fifth house and how close it is to the midpoint of the fifth house. The degrees are very important to be understood. So, marital discard 6, 7, 8. We call this as the mala, the garland. If this is the lagna, this is the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this garland has to be protected. If Ketu is negatively sitting in these three, there is a chance that unnecessarily it can cause marital discord in its period of time. And particularly if it is sitting along with the seventh lord or Venus. The Venus, because Venus signifies marital happiness or going to a higher level marital bliss. Okay, which is not seen, it is very difficult to get marital bliss. So, medical problems, anyway, I told the 6th, 8th, and the 12th, painful journeys, staying in foreign land. Normally, if Ketu is in the 12th house and it is normally posited, it is happily posited, let us say Ketu is not afflicted, there are no planets with Ketu, then journey abroad will give profit. It will give you easy accommodation, easy adaptation. The same Ketu along with a tough planet like Jupiter. Jupiter in the 12th house is not considered great. See any book, you will be able to read that. Jupiter in the 8th, Jupiter in the 3rd, 8th, and 12th house is not considered good. So, if it is sitting along with Jupiter, it is not a great placement for satisfaction if you go abroad. So, it will be painful. So, there is there is another problem which Ketu can do. It can give you abrupt interruptions in blood flow, which can cause, along with Mercury, if it is sitting along with Mercury, badly posited in the Lagna, in the brain, just behind, that is just behind the ascendant, it can cause problems of overthinking, anxiety, and even seizures. So, keep your blood pure and clean. Keep walking. Keep eating good food. Don't go into any junk. Keep the junk away from yourself. Things will improve slowly and you will be fine. So there are unknown, undiagnosed pains which keep happening to people. Sometimes people keep getting pain in the leg, sometimes people get pain in the back, sometimes in the neck. And it is unknown, how much ever you go through scans and blood tests, you are not getting the exact result as to why this happened. And these types of, delay in diagnosis can happen because of the Ketu. So, thank you very much for today's class.